we'll get straight into it. The Bearded Athlete, thanks for coming on, bro. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Tell me first, I want to know about this 100-kilometer run stuff you're doing. You're training hard. I saw you do was it 20 Ks yesterday?
20 Ks on Monday, 15 Ks today.
So what's it for?
So it's been a while since I did a fundraiser with an organization. I like to sort of do things where I can sort of help people out. It's one of my aspirations. And I got invited to this organization, Al Ihsan, and they said to me that after, they do whatever they have to do, like in terms of admin work, the rest of it goes to these fundraisers, these organizations. And they told me they have a kitchen in Lebanon, which every day they feed 500 people every day on a yearly basis. They told me there's $100 meal packages they're trying to make for Syria right now. Mm-hmm. And it goes to the people in Syria, and you got the people in Turkey. Now he sat there and he's like to me, we only want you to raise $10,000. We wouldn't expect you to raise any more. And me, I'm very competitive. And I'm like to him, brother, we can do a bit more than that. And then he said, you know what, you go think about it and let me know what you want to do. So I went home and I saw, I don't know what's his name, but he just ran around all of Australia.
Ned Brockman,
that's his name. I saw him, I saw his story. And I said, why is it always these people that are doing these crazy things? And sort of out west, we're sort of a bit lazy, laid back. So I said, let's do something crazy. So I said, let's do 100K for 100K. The total amount, everything they want to raise in Ramadan is 115K. I said, let's do 100K for 100K, and the organization does 15K. And now we're just training for it, you know what I mean?
So how's it going to work? You're going to run 100 kilometers
while fasting.
Yeah,
but not completely. So right now the goal is to start at 12 or maybe 10 a.m. 2 weeks into Ramadan, and then run while fasting until 6, 7, break the fast, and then continue all the way until the morning. So try and get it done in like 10, 15 hours.
Far out.
Yeah.
Wow, that's going to be hard.
I know. The guy said to me, you're crazy, when I told him. But, these things, they excite me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And it's just going to be you running, and obviously you'll have people following you?
Do you know Ironman? Have you heard of Ironman from thing? So some people have reached out to run with me, the whole thing. And some people have reached out to run with me like 10, 20 Ks, sort of as like pacemakers. Mm-hmm. I haven't ran in a while. Yes, on Monday I did the 20 Ks, 6 minutes a K. If I could maintain that for the whole 100, I'd finish in 10 hours.
What was the date you said you're going to start? Say a date?
So second week of Ramadan, so maybe like you could say 6 weeks from now.
6 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And you haven't run in a while, but you did 20 Ks yesterday. So you're slowly building up to it.
Yeah. So what the goal will happen is from now until the next 4 weeks, I'll run 20 Ks on Monday, 20 Ks on Tuesday. I'll take some time off in terms of just dropping the amount of running I'm doing. And then I will, right before Ramadan starts, I'll attempt a 50K. Mm-hmm. And depending how that goes, my mate Jaden, who's coaching me at the moment, so shout out to Jaden, he'll tell me, how
you're tracking, what you can do, and how we're going to raise money.
So how I'm going to raise money is basically I'm going to approach some businesses and stuff, and I'm going to tell them, hey man, this is what's happening, 1, 2, 3, and then if they want to donate, they donate. And the other thing is we're still talking about it, maybe getting it like streamed or something, mm-hmm. and having it at the bottom while we run.
Like a Twitch style something, yeah.
Sort of, yeah. So that people can see, and maybe we can get that 100K.
TikTok, Twitch, everything.
Yeah, hopefully, man. It'll be crazy, you know what I mean? And I think it'll be good for the area. I'm trying to keep the 100Ks within the area.
Oh, okay, so you're going to go like around... do you have a destination or
around the area? That's what I planned, right?
Okay.
But then I saw how long 100Ks actually is. Yeah, and I'm like, oh shit, man, it's a lot. I did 20Ks on Monday, and I was like, damn, that's substantial. Like in terms of the distance, you know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't think 20Ks would be that much.
I saw the suburbs you went from, like Auburn to like past Chullora-ish.
Yeah, Auburn to Bankstown Central, and then to Chullora, Lakemba.
That's far.
Yeah, and 100Ks. Oh. I checked on this app on the internet. You can gauge your distance, and I found the 100Ks go like from Auburn to like Kashula to Blacktown to Parramatta, the Heights, and then I think you'd come all the way down. You'd stop somewhere. I think it's Hornsby. That comes on Parramatta if you go down towards the city wise. Yeah. And then from Hornsby back into the Harbour Bridge, and then back up to the area through Bankstown.
Oh my God! I know for example, I live not far from Brighton, and I work in Marsden Park, and I know that's 50 Ks. That takes me like an hour and a bit to drive.
Yeah, we're going to run that.
That's a big drive. Far out.
It's crazy when you talk about it, But then it's crazy when you hear like someone like David Goggins who ran 8 of these one after
He's down
another.
here.
Is he?
Is that where you get your inspiration from?
Uh,
When you're thinking about challenges like this, how am I going to raise money? I want to do something crazy.
when I first started training, it was just a general motivation from what's that thing called? Machiavelli motivation on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I found David Goggins, right? And then that just
How old were you?
probably 17.
I was talking about it yesterday. Like, actually today, for example, I was when I first played NBA 2K on PlayStation. It was like my first introduction to basketball, and bro, like my world just like
You got into basketball from that?
I fell in love. Started watching it, players keeping up, and I remember like the first time I watched a Joe Rogan podcast. It was probably the first podcast I've ever watched. I can't remember who. It might have been like Elon Musk. Around the time he was doing Elon Musk, I was like, bro, what is this like form of media? These two people
Podcasting,
like podcasting, like these two people from these areas, and I was really into the UFC as well. So I knew Joe Rogan, and then I went like down the rabbit hole, and then David Goggins and things like that. But
Joe Rogan's podcast is
how important you reckon like figures like that, David Goggins, Joe Rogan, other figures who
I think it's very important. I think everyone has a message for someone. I think you heard that one.
Yeah.
David Goggins as well.
I was talking about Andrew Tate.
Yes,
said
when
that.
he was asked about Andrew Tate,
Yep.
everyone has a message for someone because, I might sit here and someone might watch this podcast and it might not resonate with them. And they say, this guy's just a load of crap, I don't want to listen to it. But then someone else might be like, oh, no, I really like this podcast. I like what this guy's saying. So I guess it just depends on you, your personality, what your message
And
is.
even if it's not that individual, a lot of the time it's like a domino effect. For example, I saw David Goggins on Joe Rogan, and then that domino effect of following David
Started
Goggins,
watching David.
Machiavelli motivation, and it leads to like a 100-kilometer run one day.
Exactly.
It's crazy where it starts. But
Exactly.
tell everyone about where you started in terms of building your platform.
In terms of social media,
Mm-hmm.
man, with me it was quite ironic. I was always into like fitness and sports and whatnot. Like it just helped me sort of stay busy. You know what I mean? So I was always into sports, but I never really had a aspiration to sort of post about it.
Did you have a sport that was your sport?
Growing up, it was rugby. It was NRL.
How old are you?
I was around like 8.
How old are you now?
Now I'm 23.
Same. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Auburn.
Okay, did you play club and stuff?
Played Bradley Bears.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Played at Bradley Bears, but then I stopped after 1 year.
Yeah.
My dad pulled me out. Little family concerns and stuff like that, issues. So I just played with the boys here and there at the park. And then I just drifted away from sport to sport. Whatever was available, I'd play.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then someone tackled me at school and they split my ankle. And like one bone grew this way, one bone grew this way. So my ankle, I'll show you, it's growing like this. It's
Wow.
like 2 bones coming out, yeah. And then mom said, that's it, no more rugby. And back then when you're a kid, so you leave rugby.
Yeah.
And then like you watched the NBA 2K, I relate to that because the 2014 World Cup,
Soccer.
yeah, there was no Arab teams in the World Cup, right? And all you see is Algeria just making this run for the World Cup, like Morocco this year. And I went to Homebush Boys full of Koreans, South Koreans, right? And all you hear is in the quarterfinals or something, it's Algeria versus South Korea. So all the Arabs are backing Algeria, and all the South Koreans are backing South Korea.
Big thing in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, they're going to pump you. And then Algeria ends up pumping South Korea 4-1.
Wow.
And brother, I was like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the new sport. And I
Fell in
went on for a
love.
while and then changed to boxing.
Boxing. And you do boxing now.
Yeah, I do boxing.
But you started, so you weren't playing any sports like competitively in clubs and stuff when you started posting
No.
on social media. You started on TikTok?
I actually started on Instagram. But
Whoa.
it was never like, it was just posting power lifts. You know, what I
Mhm.
mean? I was
Just
doing
in the gym.
powerlifting. Yeah, just gym.
I should have offered you on water. I got water.
No, I'm good.
You just, when did you go to the gym? What age did you start?
I started when I was around 17, 18.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I was allowed to go. You know what I mean? I started going then to the gym and I instantly like enjoyed it. It's just something I felt like I'm not just good at it, but I felt like something I really want to do better in every single time I go to the session.
You felt the improvements as well. It's like
I don't really know about improvements because
No?
I never really tried to achieve aesthetics. You know what I mean? It was always for me about just like getting onto when it was powerlifting, it was just getting onto the next lift. When it was calisthenics, it was just getting to the next movement whenever it was something just improving, gaining there, and then your body just adapted to it. You know what I mean? I built this understanding that personally from when I've been training and stuff, I feel that it's about how you train and your body adapts to that training. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but that's just from experience.
And did you like go harder? Did you fall in love with the gym every day, 7 days a week?
I did.
You started posting,
and then a TikTok came out right during lockdown.
Yeah.
At first, I posted like a few memes and stuff. I was having a laugh, but then
I remember you used to post stuff at the park, like doing like exercises and drills and stuff.
There was a time before that. Before during the first lockdown, where I posted a few like skits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like for around 3-4 months I was doing that.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like to myself, I'm like, shoot, man, I'm like, what am I doing? You know, it was like it slapped me in the face. I just looked at the whole community here in like Australia, right? The majority of the stuff you see on social media is it's a waste of space. It's a waste of your time. You know what I mean? And I said, do I want to walk out of the house and someone comes up to me like, oh yeah, you're a funny bloke, you make me laugh? Or would I want to go outside of the house and someone walks up to me and says, hey man, you inspired me, you helped me do something good and change my life around?
So those thoughts that you're thinking at that time?
Those were thoughts that I was thinking at that time. And I've always been an avid reader. I've always been reading books and stuff like that. I started reading in lockdown some self-improvement books. And I can't remember the book it was. It was during the first lockdown, but this quote just hit me so hard. It said, aspire to inspire before we expire. I think that was a quote from the book. Something about inspiration. And I saw that quote somewhere. And that as well hit me. And I'm like, you know what? It's time I made a change. So I just changed to just posting the training.
And what was the process of growing that? Were you like very strategic in the way you post, thinking we're scheduling this all on the post, or did you just kind of document your life and
I just
post as you go?
I just posted as I went. You know, I didn't think too much about it. Only the YouTube. You know, people have always told me like post, but I never got around to posting. And then I went on Nick Bear's YouTube. I don't know if you know Nick Bear. And I went down to his like first video. It's basically him just walking around with a phone or something back then. I'm talking like 2011.
Is he a fitness guy or?
Big fitness guy.
Yeah.
He's like maybe 220 pounds, runs 100-mile marathons.
Wow.
Yeah. Very nice channel. Sort of like a David Goggins, but with routine and scheduling in place. And I saw his channel. I'm like, man, what am I waiting for? So I posted one the other day, but I got to get more into it.
Was there a point where you're like, okay, this is actually growing? I might, this is more than just posting. I can either start a career from this or, use this platform like properly.
That is the goal in terms of starting a business or a sort of branding behind it. Like, for example, the Bead Business. But it's never been a sense like to make money. You know what I mean? It's just sort of to just post. I still don't know, in all honesty, what I'm really trying to do with it. I'll be honest with you, man. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and, I wake up maybe a bit earlier or wake up a bit later and I just scroll, like, who liked this, who commented this, who watched my story.
Yeah.
Still human, man.
Yeah. So. Talk about the bead business. You started that, you and a mate?
You and a mate, yeah, me and a mate.
You got probably one of the best beads I've seen on this podcast. Definitely the biggest one. And I mentioned on the last one with my mate Ali Saad, I'm trying to freaking...
Yeah, I'm gonna get you a bead kit tomorrow.
I'm gonna document this bead kit too and see if it works because I don't know. I've always been scared to buy one.
Nah.
They actually work.
I've told so many people the way it works is just like, for example, you're meant to grow a certain height. It's a whole like it's like everyone says something different, right? But the best point is that you're genetically going to grow this amount of hair, right? How you grow that amount of hair is up to you. It's like, for example, your growth. You're meant to grow this tall. And then you can either stunt that growth, you can, promote that growth. You might grow like a few inches taller, a few inches shorter, but you will grow that growth.
I just want it not to be patchy.
It won't be patchy, trust me. If you already have, does your dad have a full beard?
He can grow one. He doesn't grow it, but he can.
Then you have one.
Okay. My brother does.
Then you just gotta push it. There's maybe like a certain issue you got there.
There you go.
Maybe like a blocked up pore or something.
Poke some holes in here, The roller.
Use the roller.
But what made you start that? Apart from having a really good beard.
Okay, listen. So this is what happened, yeah? People were constantly commenting, what's the bead routine, right? Back then, I didn't have a bead routine, but my beard was just thick, but it was just like curled up. Like it wasn't flat, right? And my mate messages me, he goes, why don't we start a bead business? And I'm like to him, how? Like, we're in the middle of lockdown. He goes, listen, we'll meet up halfway, and we'll talk about it. So we meet up at this park that's halfway between Auburn and Punch Bowl, right? And we meet up, we talk about it, this, that. We're like watching for cops. Like, back
It was
then.
real sketch, bro.
Yeah, it was super sketchy. We were worried someone would just come and just give us a fine.
Exactly.
We weren't working and all that. So we did that. We go home. First kit comes in. We look at it. All right, we like it. We change a few things. We change this, change that. And we got to take photos. No one's open. How are we going to take photos? Go on Amazon, find this little studio box, right? It's like $60. We're inside that park, same park, inside the bushes at night. I got a power bank, hooked it up, got the box on. All those first photos you saw, if you saw that business when you first launched, those photos were taken inside a park, inside some sort of bush next to some guy's house.
You just made do.
Yeah, we just made do, man. Made do and did well. And we just went from there.
So how long has it been now? About 2-3 years almost?
It's been 1 year.
1 year?
It's only been 1 year.
Is that lockdown?
1 year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. How's it going?
It's going good. We got mentioned by ASOS in one of their articles, and then they promoted their own bead oil.
Wow.
Funny. You know what I mean? And now it's just about growing the brand, scaling it and trying to...
How have you gone learning? Because it's just the two of you, right? Are you outsourcing like marketing? Are you outsourcing?
Not at the moment, no. We do everything ourselves.
How's that learning process?
It's important. I think everyone should start a side hustle.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, you know what I mean? We made a lot of mistakes, right? And we lost money here and there. But I would gladly lose that money again.
It's a lesson.
Yeah, it's an important lesson. It's really important. Like, you need to put yourself out there. It's a conversation I had with a guy yesterday. He commented on my life. He said, if I sent you a shirt, he's starting a brand. He said, if I sent you a shirt, would you promote it? I said to him, listen, bro, if you're good at something, never do it for free. But for you, message me on Instagram, we'll go from there. So he messages me on Instagram, and I told him, listen, man, I could wear this shirt once, but it's not going to take your business far. Since you're still in this branding process and you're still starting the business, blog it, record it, and build a community. Don't build just a brand.
Where'd you learn all of that?
Throughout this whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched any YouTube videos yet about
Marketing and branding and stuff?
No.
Really?
Nah.
No Gary V?
None of that Gary V stuff.
No?
None of that, no. But my mate, in terms of like, maybe you can go on YouTube, how to build a website from beginner to advanced. You can find how to source items.
The hard skills that you needed to learn.
Yeah. Those were annoying. Like, you're looking at like maybe 3-4 hour videos.
Yeah.
But he did a lot of that back end work, so shout out to him.
And you want to continue growing it, or is it something that you want to?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's something, it's something that's unique. It's something that's good. You know what I mean? And it's a growing market right now. So why not?
Do you have a business bug now that you want to like?
What's a business bug?
Like where you see an opportunity, like, oh shit, let me think about it this way. We can build a business around that.
So you're asking good questions, because 2 days ago, so what happened is the domino effect, right? You start this business, it does well, and suddenly you want to start so many businesses, right? So that's what happened. So now I go with my friend Jane, and we're trying to build our online coaching business. And then I got this other business, a recovery business, with this friend that we're in the works of. And there's one more thing. But long story short, it's just been these dominoes effect. I'm stretching myself thin, trying to make money here, trying to make money there. And then yesterday, my friend goes to me about buying a house or something, and that there's a way we can do it where if we can scale the business up to earnings of 100 grand, right? And I said to him, yeah, and then we can get into the real estate business. And he's like to me, no, bro, this is an investment for ourselves, for our families. And I'm like, true. And I sat there and I'm like, bro, what's happening to me? Like, when we first started the business, we'd say if we get a 1K week, we're more than happy. And now it's like, oh, you make money here, make money there.
The bar gets higher and higher. Yeah. You catch yourself out of that thinking, all right, let's just focus on the main thing, build these ones first.
Even not just that, just sort of, I want to get to a point where I can prioritize family and the people important to me in my life, and myself as well. Like, I don't want to work so much or end up just making money, but not doing anything with it, right? Like, for example, 50 Cent in his book, Hustle Hard, Hustle Smarter, he said he'll sometimes come home at 4 a.m. in the morning and tell his driver to be back at his place at 5 a.m. to take him to the studio. Now, he knows he's only going to get 1 hour of sleep, but he says that his work ethic to outwork everybody else is what gives him that drive. And that's something I would commend someone for. But at that age, with the amount of money you got and the children you have,
what's the point?
You know, what are you working for at that point?
That's what I talked about. I had a podcast with Caleb. I'm not sure if you know Caleb. He's like a photographer in Sydney. He's done pretty well and he's traveling and stuff. And
Is he the one that went to Dubai with?
He saw Andrew Tate and Ramonia and he filmed a bit of them. But we're talking about the purpose of money. Why he wants money was in the chase. And it's all about freedom.
Freedom, yes.
Like you said,
what is freedom?
Time to yourself, with your family. For me, it's doing what you want when you want. And that doesn't mean like, oh, I don't want to work, for 10 days straight. It's like, I got these priorities I want to take care of before I take care of other things.
See, the thing is, that's true, and I agree with it. That's what I'm striving to work towards too. But when I went to Lebanon, my uncle opened up his own business, right? Funny thing is, he studied IT, paid 120 grand for his degree, then went back home and opened up a phone business, scaled it, and now it's huge. Didn't even use his degree. Funny how things turn out, huh? Mm-hmm. And he said to me, what's funny is that when you work for someone, they own you, but when you work for yourself, the business owns you. Mm. And that's what happens to 90% of us, 99 maybe.
That's true.
I mean, look, I'm basically going down that path when I told my mate about the houses.
So is it choosing the lesser of two evils, do you reckon?
I think it's
or is there a thin line in between?
I think it's about knowing where you want to stop. You know what I mean? And it's about trying to do good and give back, because then you sort of have a drive. You have a reason to what you're doing. When your reason becomes something like, I'm doing it for my future kids or something like that, it's just going to become, consistent. You never have to take a step back. Whereas if you do a lot of like charity work and stuff like that, you have projects to go look at, take time off, you're forced to take a step back. You know what I mean? So
I want to shift the tone a bit. I want to talk about your daily routine or things you do to set yourself up for the day. Or what's the first thing you do when you wake up? Like the actual first thing.
All right. I'm going to be a bit honest with you. Sometimes I just sleep in, right? For example, that 20K, I don't even know what happened.
First of all, actually, I want to build a bit of a picture about your lifestyle. So I know you got the grooming business. Are you a security guard?
Yes. And
that's night shift most of the time?
There's day and nights.
All right. So on a day, like just a normal day in the week?
Okay, so a normal day in the week. At the moment, I don't have uni.
Okay, so you're studying as well. Yeah, what are you studying?
Engineering science. Okay, this is how it works. So the first week, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, is 7 to 7, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, it's waking up at about 5 a.m., 4:30-ish.
7 to 7, as in that's when you wake up, that's when you sleep?
No. The shift is
7 to 7. Your security shift. Yeah,
the security shift is 7 to 7. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, when I don't have work, I wake up at 4:30-ish. I go pray. I come back home, have breakfast.
Go to the mosque and come back?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes I miss the mosque, just to be
transparent.
All right,
but what are you doing when you wake up? Like first thing, are you checking your phone?
Most of the time I check my phone.
Yeah. Because I always hear people when they talk about, morning routines, step outside, this and that. I'm like, well, what's the first thing you do? Like as soon as you wake up,
the thing,
do you wash your face?
When I was doing 75 hard, I really wanted to avoid that, because this is a piece of shit right here, man. This gets you in so much trouble, man. So what I did was I got this little alarm from Catch of the Day, right? I'll chuck the phone in the cupboard, right? Yeah. And I'd set the alarm right next to my head. So even if I want to get the phone, I have to get up and go all the way to the cupboard just to get my phone. And the alarm would ring and I'll just pop out of bed, piss easy, right? But then after 75 hard, it's sort of like you wake up, you got like 10 minutes to spare, you know what I mean? So you just do a little bit of browsing.
Notifications.
It's not ideal. Some days I get to avoid it, but most days I don't. But after that, so after the little browse on the phone, we get out of bed. So you want the fine details,
yes.
So after the little browse on the phone, little sneak peek what's going on, who like this, who like that, we get out of bed.
Did this go viral?
Yeah, 100% did, I put hashtag for you. Anyway, so go on, just go into the bathroom straight away, just wash my face, brush my teeth, out the door straight away.
Okay.
Just walk to mosque, it's like down the road. If I woke up late or I was too tired the night before, I'll just pray at home, right? And then I just go and I say, before I write out like what I want to do today, session, just train straight away, get it out of the way.
You train straight away after breakfast?
Sometimes before breakfast. It just depends how I'm feeling.
What, at home?
At the gym.
Okay.
I see. Yeah, it just depends how I'm feeling. Because some days you go to sleep, you feel full. Some days you wake up feeling full. Some days you wake up feeling empty. You know what I mean? So I'll go train, come back, and then I'll write down on my to-do list like everything I'm going to do for the day. Pop in the shower and then just go about it.
Has that helped you heaps writing a to-do list at the start of the day?
Too much.
Yeah.
Because what happens is sometimes is you have so much to do, right? And then you spend the day running around everywhere trying to finish everything and the day's done.
That's me badly.
Yeah. But having a to-do list, you set an amount of tasks and some things you can push them till tomorrow or the day after. And then you have some downtime for yourself, which is what you need sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I need to start my to-do list. I started doing it the night before. And I noticed a lot of the time when I'm,
Night before is better.
Yeah?
Night before is better.
When I want to train in the morning, I know, all right, I'm going to go, train before work, or I want to do something in particular in the morning, setting my clothes up and stuff the night before. And I do this like once every 3 weeks. I don't do it all the time. But when I do it, I notice it.
I wanted to do the set up my clothes the night before, but always in like casual clothes.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you, chuck on anything. But I don't know, there's just something about seeing it, especially my work clothes. I just know I don't got to get up and worry about what I got to wear, or, or find like it's my button up, my belt, this and that.
Yeah, it's a lot more convenient. It's smarter.
Yeah, I do want to get to the stage, but where I can just wear like a black shirt every day.
A black shirt?
Like just a shirt, the same thing every day. No, just like have you heard like of how Zuckerberg and Elon Musk wear the same thing every day?
They have like 100 in their wardrobe.
Just a nice Uniqlo oversized shirt, that'll do me. Have you read Atomic Habits?
Atomic Habits?
Atomic Habits.
The best books.
Yeah.
The best books.
I'm not a reader. Like I really want to get into it, but like all throughout high school, I would just chapter summaries or watch a quick video on whatever book we're studying. But that's actually the only book I've picked up and finished. Put down.
Atomic Habits?
I don't know if it's because the words were a bit bigger and less on the pages, but bro, like the content in that is just so easy to read, and it just made so much sense.
Two books I really enjoyed. I read this one in lockdown, was How to Win Friends and Influence People, and Atomic Habits.
I started the other one.
You started the other
I like how they give like case studies and examples and stuff.
I'll tell you something crazy about the other one, yeah? The author is regarded as like a great man for human ethics, right? You see how he writes his whole book about, doing good, doing this, doing that. This is how you can improve. It's actually believed that he killed himself, and he had 2 failed marriages, and he was not close with any of his kids.
Wow.
And that the only reason that people think he actually overdosed is because the publishers of the book saw how well the book was doing, so they brushed it under the carpet, saying that he actually just overdosed. But it's widely believed that he killed himself. And they say it's ironic how a man can write a book about human ethics, but then both his marriages were failures, and he wasn't close to his kids.
Supposed expert on people.
But that's the thing, though. You know what I mean? It's about you hear, but you don't do. It's about taking in information but not using it. It's pointless information. You know what I mean? And that's the worst thing to happen. Like to try to hear about growth, improvement, but then you never try to improve. It's like, what was the point? You wasted your time.
How do you get over that hurdle, do you reckon?
The best way to do it, just do it straight away.
Just start.
That Nike slogan, just do it. That's
So
what you
powerful.
want to do. It really is. Like,
It's
you
so
get home.
simple.
I used to get into this little fiasco with my mother, right? She'd say to me, move your shoes from the front door, right? And I'd get home and I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow. When I'm going out to the gym, I'd get home. But then after I just heard, I don't know what it was, some audio about, just do it. Like, why are you wasting time? Successful people do things as soon as the task arises. They just get out of the way. So now I just...
And most of the time, bro, there's absolutely no reason for us not to do those things.
There isn't, but we're just lazy.
Yeah, that's
We're just lazy.
Why?
Why are we
We're
lazy?
just, reckon humans are just wired that way, or
Nah, no way.
you reckon it's like something, nature versus nurture? It's
Why we're
like
lazy? That's a good question. I think it's social media. I think it's our phones. These days people say time flies, right? Time doesn't really fly. There's 24 hours in a day. I think it's just people are immersed in this world of social media and movies and series and who said this and who said that and what's going on, that by the time they snap out of it and they look up, time's already passed.
all of that dopamine and those chemical reactions is what makes it feel fast.
Exactly.
But you're right, it doesn't fly. When you're doing stuff that's actually effective or, has a purpose, tasks and stuff, you realize how much you can get done in a day.
It's also about what you say, right? So this book called Ego is the Enemy, right? Touches on this crazy topic. Go on any social media platform, anything. It always asks you to speak your mind or to speak what you're doing. You know, Instagram, post a story, Facebook, whatever it wants you to do. Twitter, it literally says what's on your mind or how you're feeling or whatever. And then you'll be like, you go and you always talk, show without thinking, right? And then Mark Cuban, in his podcast, he goes, a lot of the times people become lazy to do something because once you say you're going to do this, you release a form of dopamine in your mind that you've already achieved this. So suddenly you don't feel inclined to do it anymore, right? So you always share these things on social media, these motivational quotes or these goals you have or something. But then because you're just sharing it, talking about it, and you're never actually doing it, you're getting this satisfaction that it's already done.
But and I've struggled with that not lately, but in the past where I've told my friends all these ideas I want to do, and you know, whether it's social media or marketing, or I reckon this will pop off, and then I always catch myself, why did I talk about it? I didn't do it. I'm not going to do it. Next time, don't talk about something. You know,
that feeling.
Actions louder than words. That's so true.
Sometimes the best work is the work that's in silence.
Exactly. And it's funny that all the social media things have that what's in your mind, little message, because when you're on there...
It's to just drag you in, you know what I mean? Just to lull you into this state of satisfaction and contentment.
It's hard to say, but how would you weigh up social media, good versus bad? Net positive, net negative?
Big net negative. Unless you're like, but even then, like even me, like right now with social media, I really don't like it. You know, like I just said, sometimes like I wake up, you know, who like this, who like that, who said this, who said that. And it's like a drug, man. It's like a drug.
It is.
And
find yourself picking up your phone. Like you can look at, there's a setting on like screen time, how many times you picked up your phone.
Yeah.
And that's like, I know I didn't use it that many times.
But then you look at the screen time, it's like what, 9 hours, 10 hours.
Yeah.
I know someone who's got like 15 hours screen time a day.
That's a lot.
Mine's like 10 hours, but it's because like I edit and stuff and I post on the Groomy Lab Codes online business, you know what I mean? So I all do on my phone. I don't really use the laptop much. But 15 hours, this guy doesn't do any of that stuff. So I don't know what he's doing 15 hours on his
That's a long time. Yes. And I think that's common with younger kids. I know definitely my little cousins in holidays when they're not at school.
iPad.
Yeah. TikTok.
It's a problem, man. It's a problem, and it needs to be addressed. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things that are brushed under the carpet.
I think things like that has to be a kind of a community effort. I'm not saying like, you know, your small community, but at school, and then schools need to involve parents, and it needs to be, you know, something that people
then
join.
You got to ask yourself, do schools want to do that?
Exactly.
You know, what's the agenda of the government and the system?
Exactly.
Like I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but you got to be stupid to think that, you know, everyone wants the best for you. You know, the day you think that people want the best for you is the day, you know, you just become a sheep.
Yeah, it's difficult. We'll shift gears and go into sports a little bit, but you started boxing. Did you start because you have aspirations to fight professionally for world titles, or what was the...
I just like fighting people. I just liked it. You know,
the art of fighting, or, you know, bettering yourself, the technical side, or is it hitting people?
The technical side of things, anything I do, I always want to get it down to a T. You know what I mean? So Brotherhood Boxing, I'll go there 3 hours before the class starts. My coach will tell you this, and I'll be there, and I'll be banging out like a jab or a cross, just trying to work on it, because I haven't been doing it for that long, right? But then the sport itself, it's just satisfying. I want to be honest with you. It's satisfying when you can hit someone they can't hit you. You know, that whole art itself is very satisfying.
Yeah.
The whole knocking out people aspect, I don't know how that feels. I haven't knocked someone out yet. But just that ability to hit someone and you just don't get hit, it's very satisfying. It's like you just get a rush. You know what I mean? You feel like in the Matrix or something.
Yeah.
It's good.
I can imagine. And do you want to, you've had amateur fights?
I've had amateur fights. I've had 2 amateur fights, right? And both times I just got thrown straight into the deep end.
I saw one where you had to put on so much weight in like...
the recent one for state titles, yeah. I was meant to fight this guy. I had like... you could only have minimum of 0 to 3 fights. It was for novice states, right? This guy had like 10. I don't know how he snuck in. He cut down to 92 because he wanted to be under 92. Because after 92 is super heavyweight, right?
Yep.
And then I just saw him on later on for fight night. The guy was like a balloon.
Yeah.
What the hell happened to this bloke? But we smacked him. And
What do you walk around at?
I walk around at 90, right?
Yep.
But when I got told to fight, I was sitting at 87 because I was trying to go down to 81.
Yeah. Do you have to make 92, or do you just have to be under it?
Well, I thought I had to be 92, but it turns out if I was just a bit below, it was fine. You know what I mean? So I was out in the back eating meat and cheese.
I was watching your stories.
Oh yeah, the yogurt.
Yeah.
I was just chugging on that. I ate bananas. I drank so much milk, water and salt. And I got to the scale. I was bloated. I was like, bro, I gotta go.
What'd you get up to?
I got to 92.
Wow.
On the dot, like smack bang 92.
And how long after that to your fight?
12 hours.
And did you come back down?
I don't know, bro. I felt bloated up until the fight.
Did you like stop? Oh, really?
Yeah, bro.
How'd you go?
I ate a lot, man. I think I ate a meat and cheese. I ate the Wheat Bix standard. You know what I mean? I drank a bottle of salt water, and I drank a bottle of that goat milk. And then
Affect your performance?
Straight out. Second round, I felt like I need to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Magas. I don't know if people know what magas is. It's just the upset tummy. Yeah, bro.
You needed to go.
Yeah, I think he got me with a body shot.
Oh,
It didn't hurt me, but I feel like it upset the stomach.
lucky it didn't come out.
Oh, bro, like, I was like, oh shit.
Have you seen that video? I saw one the other day of a guy, two big guys, and they look like kind of amateurs,
Yeah.
and he gets caught in the guillotine.
No, I didn't see it.
And he flips him, and he taps out real quick, and he stands up, and you see the floor's just kind of covered.
What was it covered in?
Khara.
Oh, yeah. Nah.
And I was like, bro, I could not imagine.
Nah, man. I think I just ate too much, and then you got the adrenaline, and then it just came down when I was in the ring, so you just forget it, and then got with that body shot. It didn't hurt, but it did something, bro, and it just
Yuck.
I gotta go.
But do you want to fight professionally?
Honestly, I don't know.
You're just going with it?
I'm just going with it. I love the sport. I don't know, because of like.
Have you ever put forward into building your platform even bigger than what it is?
Yes, for sure.
And, lining something up like that, because whether it's making a lot of money for yourself, you could even do you could raise a lot of money,
I could raise a lot of money. There are good things that can come from it, but I feel like there are other avenues to sort of. Let me put it like this, yeah. A lot of people see my social media, and they assume that I'm a very religious person. Okay, maybe to them I am, because I pray, I do.
What are you supposed to do?
I do what I'm supposed to do, and then maybe I do a little extra, just a little, and maybe because I don't post myself, like sinning. A lot of people, they post themselves sinning, right? I'm not saying I like drink or anything, but I'm saying, like, for example, yeah, maybe they develop this notion in their head, like, I'm not swearing, I'm not doing these things, I'm not hanging out in clubs and pubs. So maybe they develop this notion in their head that I'm a very religious person. I try to follow my religion the best I can, right? And it governs my life. So for me, it's like fighting isn't the best thing as a Muslim, right? And although I love boxing, I know I should give it up at some point, because it's not right in my beliefs. Not learning the sport, but hitting other people in the face as a sport. You know what I mean? So I need to give it up at some point. And yes, you can make X amount of money, but what I always tell people is whatever you're going to make in life is guaranteed. You won't make $1 more or $1 less, but it's all about how you make that money. So I tell people sometimes, like, they talk about these controversial figures and what they're doing, and they say, get that bag or whatever. And I say, it's sad that they had to degrade themselves or do something like that just to make $1 when they could have made it anyway in another form or another manner. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
That's a powerful thing with social media. What you put out, like, people can portray it, in any way in their own mind. I have a completely different, outlook on you and what you post and stuff compared to that guy that hit you up on social media. And it's like going back to social media being a dangerous thing. Like, it's very I feel like you got to look at the positives. If you're on social media so much, you try and look at the positives. Don't try and think positive first. Seeing you post your, religious stuff, don't think, oh, look at this guy, he's just trying to show off or whatever. He's sharing a message to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the 100-kilometer run, helping other, It's just such a dangerous thing, and it's like a rabbit hole if you keep,
But
consuming yourself.
I think it comes down. Sorry to interrupt. I think it comes down because like no one really posts the negatives.
Exactly.
It's always positive,
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
You know, like no one's very real with it.
What I was trying to say is like it's crazy how you can form a concept of someone without even meeting them, just by what they're posting, even if it's not intended for that purpose.
Did you see that? Did you see that model from Berlin? That lady made up. He was completely fake.
No,
You didn't see that Chad, that guy with that, I think 10 out of 10 physique.
a guy.
So this girl in Berlin, she had a boyfriend, right? She's a photographer editor, right? And this guy has he has a nice physique. It's normal, right? She took his physique and she edited it and photoshopped it until it was like impeccable. And then she would get him to do like poses, like for example, a handstand on one hand with the splits.
She would edit it to do that, or get this guy to do that.
I don't know if she'd get him to jump up. I don't know how she would get him to do that.
So she was editing this guy's body.
She was editing this guy's body. So he would pose in like his boxes, and then she would take the body and she would just morph it into something like impeccable. And you had all these comments about this guy being like, "Oh, is he real? Is he real?" And I think in the span of a few days, he gains millions of followers, right? And everyone was saying this is the greatest physique. I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
And then he would come and comment, "Yes, I'm real. I don't know what. And that's it. He wouldn't post a video, a story, nothing. 0 following as well. And people would keep on following him until the missus had to just come out at one point and be like, "Listen, it's fake." Like
Probably consuming him a bit too.
Probably.
You start to believe that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like she would edit his face. Like she even showed his actual face. She would edit everything. And it was crazy. The people in the comments were glorifying this man that they saw as a dream physique, even though this physique was impossible. Like I'm talking, Arnold would be like a bug next to this guy in terms of aesthetics. It was nuts.
Yeah, I get it. People just got to take it less serious, I think. The positive stuff, take it serious. The David Goggins stuff, take it serious. But in general, like, in a way, it's not real life.
It's not. It's not real life.
It's highlights.
You can post whatever you want at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of like funny situations, you can go back and forth with them.
That's crazy, bro.
I know one guy like crops out his Nike running. He just crops out the pace and whatnot. And then he just puts the distance and he probably just walked it.
You can do so much, bro. You'd be surprised if things that you've seen and you think are real aren't real. You can do anything. I don't know what these flies.
I think that's what I thought here on my
I don't know why there's a fly in here, but we'll end off with a couple questions. It's like a start bench cut. Actually, one thing I want to ask you first: who do you think? I'm not into soccer. I know you love Ronaldo as the GOAT to you. I probably agree, but
you're a good man.
I'm not.
This is a good podcast. It's gonna go far. As long as you think Ronaldo is the GOAT, it's gonna go far.
I'm not equipped to speak about it.
Yeah.
I don't think you follow basketball as much, but MMA we both follow. I think it's safe to say.
Basketball, I'm like 50-50.
Who's the best player to you?
Personally?
In generation by generation, it's hard to say.
Like, listen, personally to me, it's Michael Jordan. Personally to me. I understand why people think LeBron James is the GOAT. I understand that. But to me, it's Michael Jordan.
Because of the resume?
Not just the resume. I mean, like the time, his skill set, what he did. He just, when you watch him play, it just looks so natural. It's so fluid. LeBron James just feels like a brick wall running around.
I got a lot of arguments to that, but it'll be beating a dead horse.
But then again, all I've watched is YouTube highlights and The Last Dance, so I can't really talk about basketball.
The Last Dance is hard to go off, but MMA.
Yeah.
Now, did you see what I shared on my story today, what Jon Jones posted? What he did back is legal.
Yeah.
So that's an argument, but who's your GOAT?
Listen, Jon Jones, man. Regardless of PEDs or steroids, Jon Jones has only fought a title fight since 2012.
Crazy amount.
It's like 26 now straight.
I don't know.
Listen, PEDs, no PEDs.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT, man.
How do you think he's going to go against
Probably wipe the floor with him, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be... It can go two ways, I think.
Because Yane is... a lot of the times when he punches or kicks, he stops for a brief bit.
Jones will get him for that.
Yeah, Jones will pick up on it.
He really knows that. He's studying.
Yeah, like if I saw it by accident, I think my mate pointed out to me first, to be honest. If But if he saw it, then Jon Jones definitely saw it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plus, bro, Ngannou exposed him
The
to
wrestling.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Jones' wrestling's there, man.
It's
And if Jones gets you in a wrestling, if he gets you in the ground and pound, you're gonna get some crazy elbows. You don't know what you're going to eat from Jones. So
he's just got so many things up his arsenal.
yeah,
But
I would have said Khabib if he maintained that dominance he had. But
see, to me, you can compare it to Michael Jordan and Khabib. Similar, short time they dominated. No one was better than them. Jones and LeBron, the length, the longevity,
yes,
the people they beat,
the consistency.
That's
what I'm saying.
similar.
That's what I'm saying. If he stayed around, then yes, you know what I mean. Like, I understand when people say that even if Khabib stayed around, no one was going to beat him. The only challenge that was possibly a challenge for him was maybe Usman.
Yeah, and the weight cut. I feel like the weight cut was his biggest opponent.
Actually, bro, I read something interesting. Apparently, that's a media pushed agenda.
Really?
Apparently, he's missed weight only twice, which is really interesting.
Not even in terms of like missing weight, but the struggle of him having to do it again.
He's a big boy.
I think he's starting to dread that.
But bro, there are some MMA fighters out like Mighty Mouse, man. Mighty Mouse is up there, man. Mighty Mouse is crazy.
Silva, you put him up there. Anderson Silva.
If I had to put my Mount Rushmore, I'd put him in fifth.
In fifth.
Yeah.
Jones, Mighty Mouse, Khabib.
No, I'd put Jon Jones. I'd put Mighty Mouse, GSP. I'd put Khabib over Anderson Silva, to be honest.
For me, I'd put Anderson Silva over GSP.
Seriously? Anderson Silva over GSP?
Yeah, I think Anderson, like in his time, bro, he went on too long, yes, but unbeatable.
He's still going.
Exactly.
Still going.
Imagine he stopped at the top. Imagine he stopped when he was in the Matrix.
If he stopped at the top, the Jon Jones conversation wouldn't be there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, it'd be very hard to beat, but he didn't. That's on him.
There's some cracker fights coming up, and I can't wait, bro. It's the best sport right now.
Right now, it's. I was watching yesterday Dana's what's it called?
Power Slap?
No, that's rubbish. I was watching his. He had this little interview about when he bought Fire Island.
Yeah,
have you watched it?
I keep seeing clips on TikTok lately about it like jumps from interview to interview to interview.
Bro, it was such a smart investment. I was watching that, and I'm like, this man.
Yeah,
this man maybe made a few mistakes, but because he's had so many failed businesses, but that Fire Island was so smart.
And you know what? With failed businesses, I've heard an investing tip is you invest in someone's second or third after a few fails, because that's what, a lot of the time when a successful one comes out, all the lessons they've learned. It's good for an entrepreneur to fail as long as they take those lessons on. A lot of the time, people's most successful businesses aren't their first.
Wow, that's crazy.
If you look at if you see the thing, this guy started KFC at this time and stuff like that. A lot of them always failed businesses.
Wow.
And like Dana, I'm sure he'd tried things before, and the third or fourth try was the UFC.
No, Dana had a lot, because remember that beef between him and Ariel Helwani?
Yeah. He's had a lot of mistakes. Yeah.
Stuffed up heaps. I'm surprised he didn't get into more trouble for slapping his wife. I mean, I know she slapped him first, but what's it called? I was surprised with the way the media is these days.
Exactly.
I thought he'd get.
If you think about it, ESPN affiliated with UFC.
Yeah.
Disney owns ESPN.
Oh, seriously?
Pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure Disney owns ESPN, because I know the guys on like the NBA shows.
Disney owns a lot.
Yeah.
They own Marvel apparently as well.
I reckon if UFC wasn't affiliated with Disney and say they owned Bellator, it would have been, Dana would have been gone.
Probably because it's funny you say that, because that interview with Fire Island, right? He was able to hide the location of Fire Island from the media. Disney. An organization that big, that's nuts.
People like Disney, bro, they own the media.
That's crazy, yeah. Disney's there.
But the last thing I want to do is start Benchcut. So you know how that works. 3 options. One's like a starter, one's a bencher, one you're cutting.
Okay.
Kind of just talked about it, but
wait, what's the topic? MMA?
There's a couple different. There's 4. I got 4 questions and 4 different things.
Okay.
Khabib, GSP, Jon Jones.
Okay.
Start Benchcut.
Okay, I would start Jon Jones. I would bench Khabib, and I would cut GSP. And I'll tell you why. I'll break it down for you why, right? Jon Jones is the all-round fighter. He's got everything I need, right? Then if I have to choose between Khabib's wrestling, grappling to GSP's grappling and wrestling, I'd choose Khabib if I need someone for the ground.
What about GSP striking too?
Jon Jones is way better striker.
Okay, sure.
Jon Jones.
Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe.
Can we get rid of Messi completely? No, I'm joking. Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe.
Okay.
Mbappe's still young.
He is.
But
I thought that when I was writing as a
I don't think he would.
You don't think he'll surpass either of them?
Nah, no way. No way. Not he stuffed up when he went to
PSG.
Yeah.
Sauna, ice bath, cold plunge.
Ooh, I'll tell you what. Ice bath.
Start ice bath.
Sauna. And what was the last one?
Cold plunge.
Then cold plunge.
Okay. Ice bath's really that good?
Listen, man, they're good. They're really good.
I've actually never done one, ever.
I'll tell you to do one, but maybe start with like a cold shower first. Because if you just jump into it, you're just gonna be like, you just jump out. I have a friend during 75 hard. He's like, "Are you doing the cold shower part?" I'm like to him, "Yeah, it's good, bro, but it's a bit weird when you first start." He's like, "I want to try it." He just calls me up half an hour later, like, "Wow, I hyperventilated. I came out, I couldn't breathe."
What could happen? Did anything crazy happen, or is it just?
Some people just from their nerves, they just go under the water and they're just thinking something crazy is gonna happen, and they just react to it in a bad way. But nothing's gonna happen if you.
Nothing's gonna happen, right?
No.
Okay.
Just
I'll just jump into it then.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Just go for it. Just breathe. You just go.
Yeah. Last one. A good beard, good hair, or good body?
I can't like train to get a good body, or is this like?
If you had to, 3 things were certain. You have to train for it, yeah, and you have to, groom and groom.
You know what?
Hair.
A good body.
Start.
Yeah, start with a good body because that's key to everything, right? If you have a good body, you can do X, Y, and Z. And then I'd probably bench the good hair.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll just cut the beard.
Really? What about? Would you go long hair and no beard? I thought you might say long beard and just shave your head.
But you're saying no hair, so I'm gonna be bald.
Like on the top of your head. Yeah, bald.
No turkey transplants.
No. You wouldn't go long beard, bald head? I reckon that's a sick look, bro. If I could rock
I
that.
reckon it's a sick look, but we're talking about like, what if you're like 24? And then, don't forget, you're gonna give that to your kids as well.
True.
You're gonna start this like
that genetics.
this prodigy of bald heads.
I can't wait for the day but when I'm a judo and I can rock no hair and a beard and hopefully be built. That'll be a good day.
It'll be a good day, but man, have you heard of Coach Nerman?
No.
Brotherhood Boxing. That guy's 58, man. Mashallah, he's nuts. He's like 58, goes for laps around the area, bald head, big beard as well.
Seriously.
Exactly the
what a look.
crazy.
I want that look. And right on cue, we'll finish up. But I appreciate you coming on, bro.
No worries.
So 100-kilometer run, second week of Ramadan. How can people contribute or, join in?
So far, it's still in the works about like how we're going to manage everything. But, we'll...
For now, follow you at The Bearded Athlete.
The Bearded Athlete, that's the one.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Same. Not YouTube's The Bearded Athlete, but it's still...
It's in the works. That's
it's
coming.
In the works.
We'll see it.
It's already there. There's like two shorts, but...
There you go. Go check it out.
Enough.
And I'm going to do this beard kit and we'll document it as each podcast goes.
Tell them what's it called. 3 months.
3 months?
You got to do a little beard review.
All right.
See where your beard's at.
Whatever the date is, it's like 22nd of February, 3 months from now.